Hello everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of the Web Element series. Yesterday I came across a code pen once again and it really looked good. Just see this. The person who created this named it Magic Card, so I'm also going to call it Magic Card. It is simply a card with a revolving gradient border, and when you hover on it, the gradient border just disappears. So we are going to recreate this effect today in this video. So let's begin. So I'll name, no, not a file. First we'll create a folder, which I'll name episode 16. And you know what comes next. Index16.html and style16.css. So I'll just close this welcome one. Also, I'll close the sidebar and give it a different window. So now the first thing is obviously getting the boilerplate and linking the CSS file. So link. We'll also change the title to Magic Card by. Let's also name the person, or at least the ID that his name is. Damn. So I think this is the name if I haven't made any typo. Yep. In this video, this HTML is not going to be any lengthy. We just have to write div.card and inside it just write magic card. That's it for the HTML. Nothing else. Like, although this person has a little bit longer HTML just because he also added a link of his website, which we are not going to do. So now I'll also run the live server. And this is what it looks like for now. And I know it looks nowhere near. So let's begin with the CSS. We'll begin with giving a property and making a variable rotate, because we obviously have to make it to rotate. Or I'll just go with the flow and begin with the body. So I'll create the body. First we'll give a height which is 100 VH. Then a background color. Like, I'll take the background color from him only. I am not going to see the code. So I'll use the extension that I have downloaded. So what color is this? 212534. So 212534. Let's save it and let's see. That is the color same. Yeah. Exactly the same color. This is why I have installed this extension. Like, it is really helpful when you have to do such things. So now we'll go with display flex, justify content center, and align item center. Now we have to give a flex direction, which would be column. So we want it to be in form of a column, not in the form of a row. You'd be seeing that why it is so. We'll also give it some padding at the top of like 2 rem. If in case you are confused what is rem, I have created a video on CSS units. You can just check it out and you'll understand what it is. And we'll also give a bottom padding of, or we'll just go with the shorthand method. So 0. This is called the shorthand method. Like we are giving the properties in one flow only. If it is visible, that's inspect. Now, where's the div? Here's the div and the padding is invisible. Okay, we are giving the padding to it. So you can see that one. I just got confused myself. As you can see the padding here. The padding is of green color. Like this is the 2 rem. Or you can see it like this. It is also at the bottom and also at the top. So now we have to give it box sizing, which would be border box. It is the mostly used one. Mostly whenever you give the property box sizing, it is border box only. Now I'll just give a little bit about the property. So we'll give it a syntax, single inverted commas, then angle brackets, and right angle in it. Because obviously it is rotate, so we have to give some angle value. Now we have to write initial value. I'll take an initial value of 132 degrees. I think it is nearby the value that is used. And inherits. Inherits means that what should it inherit from the parent, which would obviously be div here, and we want none of the inherits. So we will give it simply false value. Now we also have to give some values to root. Root simply means the entire HTML file. So here we will create two variables, card height, which should be 65 EH. And the second is card width. So card width, which is going to be a calculated value. So calc variable card height, and we'll simply divide it by, like, wait, what is this? So we'll simply divide it by 1.5. Let me save and let me see that is there some effect. Okay, we haven't yet given any property to the card itself, so it isn't appearing. So let's now work with the card. So we'll write card. Now the first thing is I would give a background color. So again, let's check the color. Eyedropper, pick color from web page. The color is 191C29. So I'll just write 191C29. Let's save it and let's see. Yep, it's the same color. Let's first now give it a width and height. So again, we have to put a calculated value as we gave some variables above. So Wait, we did the calculation above only. We'll write variable here instead of what we did before. So now comes the height. And again with the height comes variable, card height. And now you would be able to see it in a bigger size. As you can see, the card is bigger. Now I'll give it some padding. Like 3 pixels would be enough. And then let's give it a position. And position would be relative. Wait, let me check. Is there some? Yeah, the border has a radius also. I would give it a radius of maybe, seems to be 6 pixels. Nearby that. I'll go with 6 pixels. So let's give border radius 6 pixels. And then we'll do, as always, justify content center and align items center. Wait, I didn't even do the display flex. Let me do it also. Now the word written magic card would appear in the center. You can't see it, but it is there. Like, let me show you. Okay, maybe we should give it a color ourselves. I'll give it a color of aqua. As you can see, it is now in the center from both axes. And the reason we were doing that calc thing was, let me show you if it works as intended. Okay, it only works for the width. Let me do this. As you can see now, the card is completely visible even if we minimize it this much. That was the reason we were using that calc. So I will also give it some font size because it is looking small. Around like 2 rem would be enough. Let's see once. $1.5 maybe. Yeah, 1.5 is exact value. And we'll also change the font family. So we will give the font family. Is Comic Sans available? Okay, we will simply write cursive. It should work. It is exactly what the name of the font family is. Like, it isn't properly font family, it is the font type, but it still comes under font family. And it's the exact one. I'm impressed by myself. And we'll also do one more thing, which I think this person also did. Like, when we are hovering on it, it turns into a hand symbol. That is simply by cursor pointer. So we'll do that. So cursor should be at pointer. Let's save it. Now we have to give it some hover properties. So I'll give card hover. Now I'll give it some color change, like a little bit. So color, maybe leave the color. Let the color be the same one. Let's keep the hover properties for later on. Like, I'm out of ideas that what hover property do we need? Because there seems to be none. So now we'll give the properties as card before and also the card after properties. which to be honest do not interest me that much, but we have to give them. So first of all, content, we have to leave it empty, so this. Then width, let it be 100, but wait, we need to make it bigger. So its width, so I'll go with 104%, and the height should go with 102%. You would be wondering why, like, I'm giving a lesser percentage in height. Like, the height is obviously more than width, so its percentage would also vary as per that. So I'm just trying to make it as similar as possible, and I'll give it a little bit more border radius, and we have to give it some gradient. So background image, linear gradient, I can't be sure that what the gradient color is, so I'll simply take it from here straight ahead, because I want to make it quite a lot a replica. Like, there's nothing bad in copying the colors, is it? Let's save it, and now let me show you how it looks. Ow, not this one. This is really big, I know that, because it is currently in front. So we'll adjust it with Z index. And I'll give it a Z index of -1. And now it would be behind. As you can see, it is behind the card now. Although not properly, for that we'll just do position absolute. And also we'll give some top and bottom values. So top, like not top and bottom. My bad that I said top and bottom, but top and left values. -1%. Or maybe -2. And we need to give it an animation. Like, this animation will remain same for both. So I'll give spin 2.5 seconds, linear, and infinite. The animation won't occur, but at least you can see the border now. It is looking really good. I'm seriously impressed by this person who created it. Like, that's a brilliant idea. And I was also thinking of making something similar, but I was just out of ideas most of the time. So I would really like to say thanks to whoever this person is, because he just made me fulfill my own wish. And I was the only person who had stopped myself from doing it, which is weird. So top, calc, and I'll give it a variable value again. So it should be like, it's the top, so I'll give card height, and let's divide it by something such as 6. 6 would work. Then comes left, it should be 0, and we'll also give right to be 0. And again, Z index, you know why it is so. So Z index should be -1. Then comes height, which is 100%. Width, again 100%. And and the margin should be at 0 and auto. Auto simply means that it will adjust rest of the margins, like it should be at 0 or the computer should see itself. And we'll also give it some transform of scale. We want to make it smaller, so 0.8. And also add a filter. They are saying blur is the first, so we'll do blur. I'm joking, like blur has to be done so that it looks a little bit organic and not a sharp image. Now we have to again deal with the card height, and we'll again divide it by 6. And now again for background image, like the value would be same for background image. So linear gradient and paste. So now comes opacity. So we want the opacity to be at 1. And transition, like we also want to change the opacity when we hover on it. So opacity is here, and I'll give it a time of half a second. That's enough. And again the same animation we said above, 2.5 seconds, linear, infinite. And now at the rate keyframes, spin, because we named the animation spin, 0%. Now the property we defined before comes into action. Like now we'll give it a value of 0 degree, and here 100 degree. Wait, not 100 degree, 360. We wanted to go a full roundabout. Okay, so the border is done. The only difference now that remains is that you can say whenever we hover, it is having no action done. So now we will give the hover properties. What I was thinking was like to make it disappear another way. Okay, let's do it. So H1 text paste out. Magic card. Let's save it. Dot text, and I would say opacity, no, not opacity, visibility. Visible dot text, visibility hidden. Now we see it. Okay, something's extremely wrong. Okay, I know what I forgot. I didn't even give any card hover property of after and before area. So hover before comma dot card hover after should have animation none and opacity 0. Let's save it. Now as you can see, yeah, the font size etc have changed. I'll correct it in a minute. Like all we have to do is take this, and now you can see, yeah, it is a little bit bold, but that much should work. So here we have completed the replication process. It looks really good. I would also put the link of this original code pen so that you can once see it yourself and study it if you want. You have the entire video to understand although, but still, if in case you want. So thanks for watching the video. Meet you in the next one. Till then, bye.